Yo, what is up YouTube? It is Lion here with another Guild of Guardians video, and today I am going to be telling you my estimates for when I believe the closed and open alpha tests are going to start for the game, and how I think you're going to be able to get into the closed alpha, as well as how many GOG tokens I think they're going to be allocating to the first month of the player reward system. Let's jump into it. Alright, so right off the bat, I'm going to be sharing with you my estimates, and then we'll go back through and I'll show you how I got to these dates. My estimate for the closed alpha test is going to be February 22nd. Yes, about 1 month from now, that's when I think the closed alpha will begin. And my prediction for the open alpha testing, the soft launch of the game that everyone can play, I believe will be May 17th. Now, I don't have any sort of special insider information. I don't work for GOG. These predictions are my own, and I came up with these by reading the white paper and taking a look a little bit deeper into some of the information there, and then just kind of feeling that based on what I've heard in the Discord that they're on schedule for their original projections. So let's get into some of those docs that I was telling you about on where I found this information. So taking a look at the roadmap that is in the white paper, for those of you that are familiar, it is very well known that they have been targeting Q1 of 2022 for a closed alpha test phase, as well as Q2 of 2022 for the open alpha test phase, which is essentially the soft launch of the game. It's important to note here that we see that with that open alpha launch, the in-game economy will go live integrating gems, and that's going to come in handy in the next graph that we look at. So this graph here, this is the projected circulating supply of gems graph. And you might be wondering why we're looking at this if we're trying to predict an alpha release. The reason we are is because there is one place in this graph that is very correlated to the release, and that place is the player rewards token unlock schedule. So since we know that the open alpha release is the soft launch of the game, and if we assume that player rewards will be implemented during the launch of the game to help onboard players, which just makes sense, and we see from other projects and from a marketing perspective, I think it's pretty safe to make this assumption. Then we have a pegged date on this graph for when we could expect this open alpha to happen in conjunction with the player rewards. To add a time frame to this graph, we simply go get the initial release date of the token, which was December 22nd of last year, and we plot that at the beginning of the graph. So we know that 5 months from then, roughly, by busting out our handy dandy ruler and measuring, we can see that that's when the player reward system goes live. And with what we talked about earlier, that's when we can guesstimate the open alpha release to be. As for the closed alpha, this one's basically just intuition, and it may be a little ambitious. I just kind of have a feeling that around 2 months prior to the open alpha, that would be a good time to start doing the testing that would give them time to roll out a couple of iterations and improve upon their systems, gather feedback, and we might see them run the open alpha right after the end of the closed alpha, or there might be a little bit of a break in between. I'm thinking that we're going to see around like a 2 to 6 week closed alpha, and then there'll probably be about like a 2-week break before the open alpha happens, just so they can roll their builds up to the production servers. And I don't know, I'm just kind of making a wild guess here, but like I said, just pure intuition. And it could totally be in March. I don't feel as confident about this date as I do about the closed alpha prediction. All right, now for my predictions on how I think you will gain access to the closed alpha. And this one is a bit of a wild guess too, but I have a little bit more to go off of. And there's a total possibility that they just make a form and put it on their website or throw it in the Discord, and then pick people based off of the experience that they have and maybe this, what type of phone that they're using, so they can do some testing on different devices. But I think that they might go something like leveraging Web3, one of the solutions that they have, kind of like they just did with the avatars, But I think that the first one that I have been considering as a possibility is if you have purchased in the founders waves or minted, and that kind of gives a good natural way to roll out a stress test too. Like if you gave closed alpha access to the people that minted wave 1 first and then added wave 2 and then added wave 3, that's got a really nice natural progression to adding more users. The second one would be that they have another snapshot, and it's based off if you are holding a founder's NFT in the wallet at the time of the snapshot. This is actually what we saw from the Avatar project. And that kind of brings me to my third one, which is they've already done a snapshot, and that's how we were, airdropped the GOG Avatar PFP project. So they might just use those PFPs, right? 10,000 testers into the closed alpha. And, it really could be any of these. It could be none of these, but just a little speculation on what I think it could be. I think there were kind of some hints too, I feel like, in the Discord, but those could have been referring to the raffle prize that they did for the changing your avatar on Twitter. They did a giveaway. So it's kind of hard to decipher there, but either way, kind of fun to speculate on. So my last prediction for the video is going to be how many tokens I think are going to be allocated to the first month of player rewards during the open alpha release, which is the soft launch of the game. Now, we're going to be pulling up the release schedule again, busting out the handy dandy ruler. And if you measure this, you'll find that the amount here is 20% of that 250 million scale there. So my prediction is that we're going to see 50 million GOG tokens be allocated over the course of that 1 month, towards player rewards, which is a fairly significant amount. If you look at the total allocations here, you can see that we're talking 14% of the 350 million tokens that are allocated over 48 months. So, it's a big initial wave of these tokens that get released. And that's because it's a player onboarding, like a customer acquisition cost. And I think it's going to be huge. And I think it's going to be a really good time, especially if you already own the NFTs. But yeah, I think either way, it doesn't matter. You're going to want to be playing for this first month. It is going to be the biggest release of tokens into the player rewards system in this short of a period of time in the next 4 years. So definitely something interesting to note. And I just wanted to reiterate that everything I just showed you, this is all from the initial projections in the white paper. So this information might not be 100% accurate. That's probably why we don't have a more granular breakdown here. They want to leave it a little open-ended because things, when you're developing a game at this scale, things are going to change, dates may change, and these, this could be off a little bit. But I think as far as utilizing our resources and being able to make a good guesstimate on when these things are going to happen, that this is probably the most accurate we're going to get until we get an update from the team. So, it's a lot of fun to go dive into this stuff and see what we can figure out. But that's it for me in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about my predictions in the comments below. Do you agree with them? Do you have different predictions for the dates? Do you think that this entire approach is ridiculous? Let me know what you're thinking. And if you're excited to play the game, tell me about it. And I will let you know as soon as I hear when that closed alpha release is going to be or how you will get access to it. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. You're not going to want to miss that notification. Don't be late on that closed alpha access when I drop that video. All right, that's it for me. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, peace.